Smitty and Raider B. Here we go.
All right. All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Why Superman Sucks. I am one half of your show here. We have my co-host Raider B with us as always. We have Lord Silver Sky, and joining us today, to no surprise for the topic that we're talking about, is Ollie.
Hi.
We are going to be today's a long one, guys. So buckle down, get ready. We've got Doomsday trailer talk and predictions to do. Spider-Man Brand New Day. I give the spoiler thing, but it's been a week. What have you been doing with your lives? But before all that, since we know Raider is so new to just about all of this, she went back and watched, what was it, No Way Home?
Give me 2 seconds. I believe so. No, I have actually not gotten that far. I got Homecoming, but I did, the looking into the other ones for fillers till I can fully catch up.
Mm-hmm.
So
do you have any questions about Homecoming or?
No, I'm excited to get into the newest one. I don't, like I said, things were there wasn't anything that left me confused on what was happening.
Mm-hmm. They do a really good job of covering their bases. So then with that, we're gonna dive right into the Spider-Man stuff. We'll do the Doomsday stuff towards the end. I think I got nothing right in my predictions for this movie, and I'm not upset about it.
You got one thing right.
What did I get right?
Who it was that was jumping in between bodies.
Oh,
no, well,
yeah.
You had two theories, so yes, one was right.
Yeah. Well, both of them did kind of the same thing.
Oh, I guess we should also say that. Just sorry to cut you off there. This is gonna have a lot of spoilers.
I said it in the beginning that I didn't care. Like, it's been a week. What are you doing with your life?
I know. I just want to reiterate because I told you I got hit with it the other day before going to see it, and I was like, I was doing so well to avoid.
Yeah, no. Look, I'll do the thing. All right. If you have not seen Spider-Man Brand New Day and you have plans to see it, what are you doing here? Again, I'm gonna give you like 60 seconds to get the fuck out of my live if you're still wanting to go see Spider-Man Brand New Day and you don't want any spoilers.
And cue the I was just about to
All right. You should have been gone. If you're not, that's your own fault. Yes, I did. I got it right. Jean Grey. What's weird though is I expected it to be more Morlun than I expected it to be Jean, because the body hopping is not something that she uses like at all.
Yeah, I don't think I've.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know I'm on the newer side of things, and so I did have a moment where I was like, is this something that she normally does? But from what I remember, I was like, I don't think I've ever seen her doing that.
So to help understand better, I need to explain what Omega Level is, okay? So Omega Level started out as just the fans' way of putting a label on who were the most powerful beings within the X-Men universe, all right? But Marvel then went and gave Omega Level an actual explanation. And Omega Level is a mutant whose potential is limitless. All right? So within their power set, there is no ceiling. They can do just about whatever they want with their powers, essentially. All right? So Jean Grey is an Omega Level telepath, telekinetic, all around mind stuff, right? And then she's
Mhm.
made even more broken because she is the preferred host for the Phoenix Force. And then through her extensive time being controlled by the Phoenix and by the Dark Phoenix, her powers kind of mutated, and it's more like reality warping stuff. Uh, so that's why, like, there's a whole long list of abilities that she has, and she doesn't use most of them.
Which,
There's reasons.
sorry to butt in, but brings me to a question that I was doing some refreshing earlier this morning, and I saw a question come up, and I thought it was an interesting one, and it'd be interesting to get your take on it. Do you think Jean Grey already has a little bit of the Phoenix Force within her right now?
It kind of feels like it, which would make sense if you consider the last movie she played Jean Grey in. But if they're going with that, then we already have the X-Men established.
Yeah.
Which is not the case. We do
'Cause
not have.
We would have had Charles. We would have had Charles in this then, because
Well, so the thing is, we've already established that 616 is its own universe, that is its own thing, that is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They could do whatever they want with it.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to follow the comics per se. It's nice whenever they do, and it's fantastic that they did. And so many of the shots in here were actually straight up comic cover cover shots from Spider-Man. But
However, I'm referring to the last movie. That she was Jean Grey in the previous X-Men movie that had Jean Grey in it.
no, that was
no, it was a different actress.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember
No.
an Apocalypse. It was
Yeah,
No, there's a movie after that.
and it was not her.
No, where's my fucking phone, dude?
yeah,
I fucking know what I'm talking about right now. It was centered around her. Had nothing to do with Apocalypse.
hold on. Source codes will bring the Days of Future Past, then Apocalypse. Dark Phoenix, X-Men Dark Phoenix, 2019.
Yes. So not the most recent, but there was like the last movie that she was in. Oh no,
That's not her.
No,
That's a different actress.
That's not her. That's
Yeah.
not her. Okay,
Yeah,
but still,
I was saying
but
that's where you threw it off, because I was like, no, it wasn't saying.
okay, but hear me out, okay? All right, that correction being made here, okay? Per your question, movie-wise, would make sense if she had a little bit of the Dark Phoenix still within her, because the last like big movie just centered around Jean Grey was that one.
Which was back whenever it was still Fox.
But it would be something that they could pull from.
I mean, you could go
Yes.
multiversal in the aspect of like throwing out some of the comic lore here. You know, like with Gambit, there's a connection to his different versions across the multiverse.
Mhm.
So they could kind of pull that, where, you know, that Jean Grey in Dark Phoenix getting that level of power kind of seeped into the rest. So that kind of pulls into the multiverse thing they've been doing. So I can
And
see it.
another thing here is she is only the third mutant, like the third confirmed mutant that we have seen within the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
That was going to be part of my question.
Okay, wait.
Because
Who?
I, again, not having much, is I didn't know how many times we've had a crossover with the X-Men being in Marvel.
In the Cinematic Universe, there's only been 3
Okay,
officially.
Wanda.
Namor? No, Wanda was not confirmed to be a mutant.
Okay,
It was
okay.
Namor, Miss Marvel, and now Jean Grey. Those are your 3 mutants in the Marvel Cinematic Universe currently.
No, but they rewrote her to be, I thought, Inhuman. Miss Marvel.
No.
Okay.
No.
She is a
Okay, all
confirmed
right, well,
mutant.
hold on. We pause. Pause real quick. Big pause. Okay? So here is the problem that we are having right now. All right? Out of the 3 that you have named, all right, one, the version of Namor that we got in Black Panther was not associated with the X-Men. So to call him a crossover from the X-Men is very vague. You mean a mutant crossover is what you're more referring to than an X-Men. And if it is an X-Men, then no, that version of Namor was not with the X-Men. As a matter of fact, Namor's time with the X-Men was very, 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 very brief. and not even with true intentions. We'll get into that later. Namor's kind of a fucking asshole. Um,
He is.
Ms. Marvel is the only one out of the oh no, because Namor called himself a mutant in the movie, if I remember correctly.
Yes, he did.
So Jean does not refer to herself as a mutant.
In fact, I don't, and maybe I missed over because I was so enthralled with some of the scenes, but I did not hear the M word.
Nope, never. Especially.
You did see Mutate Teen whenever
Yes.
Spider-Man was getting scanned.
Yes.
But Spider-Man isn't a mutant. He is a mutate.
Yeah, he's a mutate.
But in terms of mutants in this movie, the term they're going with for now, which I think they're going to hold off on calling them mutants until either the end of Secret Wars or when the actual their X-Men saga starts. But it's special. That's what they're calling them right now. And technically, this version of Jean is not with the X-Men.
No,
Not yet.
this is before she even got to the school.
Yeah.
Peter Parker has taken over the Charles Xavier role for the moment.
Yeah, and if
Instead of Xavier finding her as a child and then taking her in.
and putting
That's
specific
kind of a reach.
putting blocks on her to prevent certain things.
So in Fox's version of Jean Grey, I'm sorry, Raider. I know this is a lot of just crisscross information to take in. I'll do my best to help explain this possible. In the Fox version, Jean Grey is born with the Phoenix within her. Okay, and that is what Charles discovers, and he puts up all these mental blocks because when her emotions would get too intense, that would trigger an awakening for the Phoenix Force. So that's what the mental walls were up for. So it's there's a duality there. On one hand, yeah, sure, you're taking away her ability to even try to control that. But on the other hand, it's the Phoenix Force. This is a primordial force of the multiverse, of all creation. To think that a child was going to have the ability to learn how to control that powerful of a force is absurd and ridiculous. So if you take your moral compass out of the viewpoint on that, Charles did what was necessary to not only protect Jean, but to protect the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's sad because in the comics he does this a lot with quite a bit of mutants that join the X-Men team because of well, you got to remember in this world. So the X-Men is a lesson on racism, okay? Racism and segregation. The X-Men is Marvel's. It shouldn't matter who you are, what you look like, what's different about you. Everybody should be accepted and loved for who they are. That is what the X-Men is. So most of the time when you're running into a mutant that is joining either the X-Men, the Brotherhood of Mutants, or the Morlocks, those three fucking groups of mutants, there's some hardcore severe trauma that comes with them. Like it's not uncommon to come across mutants where Charles is like, well, if that ever gets out, a lot of people are just gonna die.
Speaking on the trauma, something that you wanted me to make sure that you remember to bring up was the mention of Sarah.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah. So one of the things I really loved with this movie was how deep into the lore that they went. All right, because Sarah exists, but not the way they did it here, and it's okay that they did it the way they did here because it played on the story to build the story up, right? But in the comics, Jean has a sister named Sarah, but Sarah doesn't have any mutant abilities, and I don't.
She does.
She's a late. She's late.
Yeah, she's a late mentalist as well.
Everything I read showed that she didn't have any abilities. There was nothing noting that she had.
It was during the Phalanx Covenant because she she was able to resist the merging. So
was that just she had it in her, or was that like?
They never came. They never came right out and said like, okay, she's a mutant too. They literally referred to her as a latent telepath.
Yeah, a latent telepath, and I believe there was also mention of her. In one run, at one point in time, they were planning on having it so that way she was able to activate the latent abilities of other mutants.
Okay,
So
so
kinda
that
like-
was a simulacrum that Jean created.
Okay.
Alright.
Her name was Beacon during that, and the only other real reference to Sarah we got in the comics, other than like some conversation before, is she did come into play when Jean had the Phoenix Force, was Dark Phoenix. She kind of came into play a little bit there, but there was a storyline, very brief lived, where she was turned into an Atlantean by Atlian, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like she's been a character for almost half a century. But she's always been very much background, save those like those 3 times basically.
Yeah. All right, cool. Look at me learning something. But like the fact that they pulled the sister, which is there's not a whole lot in the comics that is as niche as that pull right there, and it was really cool to see it. And to my knowledge, up until this point right now, she had no like real powers that I read up on or that they showed uh, in the comics.
Yeah, but that's where I found it weird, is that, older sister, and they made her that powerful. And
Mhm.
I mean, because I guess she in the comics too. I mean, she was very big. She before like her latent stuff came out, she was very big fighting for mutant rights.
Mhm.
That was a big part of her. That's why I think we didn't see her as much, but we had her referenced by Jean. So it was just weird that they would make her that much of a part, create that loss scenario. And I get why they did, because it basically tied her and Peter together in that loss.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It seems like it was almost like jumping the shark to me. Like they took it a little bit too far. They didn't have to go that far, and they didn't have to make her Jean's basically teacher.
I feel like a teacher position, if you will, needed to be there because you have in the comics, the animated series, and even the early Fox series, where Charles is so important to Jean. Charles is basically might as well be her father.
Yeah.
So if you take that role out, because even in this movie, just like in the comics, just like in the animated series, just like in the early on Fox series, Jean's always had a decent sized moral compass, right? But she's got that flexibility to get whatever job needed to be done. She essentially was Logan and Cyclops's word North Star, compass point, whatever, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Moral compass.
When they would fucking rage out and lose focus on what was important, she was the one that would bring them back to balance.
Save when she was Dark Phoenix, but
At least until she got possessed. Yes.
Listen, everyone knows what we're talking about.
Dark Phoenix. I'm gonna destroy universes. What?
And I love so real quick sidebar here, okay? Fox Universe is just the answer to killing the Dark Phoenix was Logan. Bullets couldn't get through her. All right? Like a fundamental force of reality is taken out by a couple of steak knives to the stomach.
Even both times we saw her. I mean, like that first time with when it was the original team.
Mm-hmm.
They would have played more into Cyclops, but they didn't. I don't know what happened with that contracting and so forth, but they just killed him off without ever seeing him on screen. So they had to adjust, but I think, yeah, I never really agreed with the Logan and her have a connection, but it was always her and Scott that were able to break through.
Even in the throuple situation, yeah, sure. It's her and Logan are close, but Logan and Scott are closer to each other in the throuple situation.
Yeah.
It's still Jean and Scott.
Oh God.
That.
No. I'm just thinking in my head is like, so basically Jean goes for the broken ones that she can try to fix. Got it.
I mean, that's Yeah, we won't dive down
I
that
mean,
rabbit
I can fix him.
hole.
Honestly, in her case, she can. Oh, that's bothering you? Mental block.
Real quick though, Raider, do you have any like I know you have notes on Brand New Day.
Oh yeah, we've just been on Jean Grey.
Yeah, hit me with a few.
Okay, well, so I know one of the things that we were speculating is the type of Spider-Man we were going to actually see in this. Since it's clear that his arachnid DNA is becoming more and more prominent. I think it was Lord was saying he hoped to see,
Man
I don't
spider,
remember what you guys
basically.
called. Yeah, Man Spider. Um, do we think this is actually setting up for that? Because now he's taking the inhibitor off and you
I
So,
think
what's going to happen from here?
go ahead, Ollie.
he had like a in that moment in the jail fight. He had a moment where he was like he came to terms with the fact that this is a part of him. This is what it's gonna. This is more a part of him than anything else will ever be. He's both Spider-Man and Peter Parker. And with that, he was able to actually control. Because if you saw, whenever he sent that hand ninja up into the railing and almost and saved him from being impaled, his eyes turned back. He got control back without the inhibitor. I feel like it's something that's more of like part of his wheelhouse now, as compared to something that's gonna eventually take over and we're gonna get Man Spider.
See,
I don't know, 50. Sorry, go ahead, Lord.
I was just thinking like it's going like we could see the continuation of like the arachnid DNA expressing itself and him actually trying to do the potion cure kind of thing, the sign where he drinks the thing and then the transformation happens or something like that. Because the inhibitor, as soon as I saw him working on it, I was like, yeah, an inhibitor's not gonna cause what we had in the comics.
Yeah, no, I feel like we have a chance for a 50-50 split here, okay? We could very well see nothing and that this was just all like a mindset thing, right? Which is kind of what when Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man was going through his changes was, right? When we had Peter turn into Man Spider, there was nothing that was going to stop it. This transformation had to happen. Had to happen.
And if it had been more
Uh,
Loon, I would have definitely seen them going that route. But since they didn't,
mhm.
it's kind of like
Yep.
now you went from 70% chance down to maybe like 45.
I would go even lower. Like that's how important the Morloon run was to the Man Spider run.
Can we also segue off of that into the fact that Spider-Man simultaneously, single-handedly, destroyed the mutant race, and also
Yeah.
is like going to become like one of the main ambassadors of the mutant race?
Yeah, no, I thought as soon as he said the inhibitor was like universal and he put it on Gene, I went, look, the first Genoshan collar.
Yeah,
that was
straight
the
up.
first thing in my head.
If you take a look at the design, not what he has, but when you first see him like with the drawings and stuff, the only thing it's missing is the band.
Yeah.
Yes, but the technology is out there now.
Yeah, but here's the thing: like you can't build an X-Men universe without the inhibitors.
Yes, it's just unfortunate that they made it Spider-Man the reason why we have the inhibitors now.
I mean, the fact that you saw that damage control had basically already hacked it so they could turn it on and off as needed.
Yes.
It's like, so great. Those blueprints are sitting in their database somewhere now.
Yeah. I don't know if you're gonna have a catalyst for all this stuff. Spider-Man's not a bad pick.
I mean, he already has so much on his plate, though.
But it wouldn't be the first time that he went through the aspect of his technology being used for, the wrong purposes. I mean, that has happened a couple times in the comics where somebody has reverse engineered something of his and done bad things with it, and he's like, it's all my fault. So, I mean, it's kind of on track for them to actually pull that later.
Yeah, the the better call would have been Iron Man, but he doesn't exist in this universe
Yeah,
anymore.
and considering Peter is essentially Tony Stark's protege, it makes sense for him to fill that role.
Complete with his equipment, which I'm just surprised the landlord doesn't realize that much fucking electricity is being sucked in by that one person. I'm just saying.
Well, with that and
Mhm.
the potential changes that we see with them, how do we think that's going to affect whatever's happening in the next movie? Because we know in the little end credits,
Don't get me started.
we're looking. Well, we're here. That's kind of the point.
Oh.
Yep.
Spider-Man in space.
Okay, so here's my thought, right? I agree with a bunch of other speculation channels that I keep up on that was Battleworld.
Yeah.
Because
Yep.
here, this is going to cross over. We're going to talk about this more at the end, but I'm bringing this up now because you brought this up. All right, the thing that concerns me coming up with Doomsday, all right, to get to this. So Victor Von Doom is not a physically strong individual, okay? He just isn't. He has a little bit of magic when you first meet him. So the thing that is throwing me off with the Doom that we are getting, is this a pre-established Doom? If it is, okay, cool, we have a little wiggle room. If it's not, his rune magic should not be enough to allow him to one finger stop a full-on hit from Stormbreaker.
Yeah.
And if the rune magic exists now within the Marvel Cinematic Universe, then are we getting Rune King Thor?
I was about to say, I knew you were going to say that.
Like, but like that's the whole the first time we're like really truly introduced into rune magic is in the comics, and it's when Thor fucking rips out both his eyes and impales himself to Yggdrasil to gain the runic powers and become Rune King Thor. And if we're getting Rune King Thor, there's no way this is a 3-4 hour movie. Rune King Thor pops in and just says, "Let me win," and then he wins.
My speculation is that it is an incursion Doom. It's not a Doom from our
Which would
the
make
616
more sense.
universe. I think it's a Doom that got brought in due to the spell that got that Doctor Strange did to erase Peter Parker from everyone's memories.
God,
I
they
mean, it
can't
doesn't-
do that.
Which
No,
I believe
I
that
don't-
is how they are going to end up bringing about Secret War and Battle World.
I don't think they have to go with Strange's spell. I mean,
No, I don't think
Because-
they specifically have to go with Stranger's spell, but I think it's going to be something similar. It's going to be an incursion of a different universe.
well, you have America that is still out there hopping around. You had the Multiverse of Madness
Yes.
situation, so God knows what kind of damage Wanda did breaking through the way she did. And they talked about that. That once that veil, that line between has kind of been shattered or been cracked, it eventually can shatter. So I think maybe that's where they pull it from
Okay,
all the
we're gonna
hopping
put-
around.
We're gonna put a pin here. Right here in this spot. We're gonna put a pin here.
Okay.
And we're gonna go back to Spider-Man stuff.
Yes.
Okay. One more point I want to make on the Spider-Man stuff. Hulk always remembers.
He does.
They didn't
He
do the
does.
line. They didn't do the line.
didn't?
No.
But
No.
But that's okay. They didn't have to do the
No,
line.
they didn't have to do the line.
That look was more than enough.
yeah,
Yes, it would have been the cherry on top if they did the line, but they didn't have to.
To do the line, there would have had to have been a fight that didn't involve Peter versus the Hulk.
Yes.
And that's not the route they went, which is fine. I was still happy that we had that moment.
yeah. I'll
Good.
now I will say there's a part of me as he's like, Hulk's falling and everything, and you can see the cars and everything and the people below, and I'm just like, are we not gonna do anything with all that rubble dragging him down? Are we just gonna sorry bystanders?
Sorry, bystanders.
Yeah.
Pretty much. But with
let-
that moment,
Yeah,
go ahead.
Nope, go ahead.
No, well, I was gonna say, well, with us having that moment, so we had the moment of Ned remembering, but the utteral gut punch that MJ has nothing. Like, she does not love him. She does not remember anything.
Yeah, I think that'll change in future movies.
I have a couple things on that. I feel like that moment that yes, we had that gut punch. She definitely did not remember. However, at the end of it all, whenever she like laid it on thick and was like extremely harsh but real with Peter Parker about how she's like, I'm a different Mary Jane. I don't know you. You are a stranger. I can't love you. I feel like after that moment in time, Jean actually started to maybe start healing her memories
So
and Ned's as well.
That's where I was curious because okay, when everybody's frozen, Jean's got everybody frozen. You see Ned and MJ, and MJ's got tears going down her face.
Yes.
And I'm like, did Jean's interaction with them? Because I mean, that wasn't a telekinetic hold; that was a telepathic hold, really. So, did her doing that shake something loose? And that's why Ned responded the way he did.
Okay, so here is where we run into a little bit of a wall. All right, Jean does have the ability to fix memories. All right, that is canonically an ability that she has. However, in order for it to work right, her connection with the person that she's helping, that is what it's dependent on. The stronger the bond between her and the person that she's assisting, the better the repair is going to be.
Okay, well, take into account she inhabited MJ.
Okay.
So she has been in her mind, seen through her mind. She knew things, you know.
Mhm.
She knew that every memory that Peter Parker was possibly in was erased. However, we also know that Jean was also in Peter's head and has the complete memories.
So was
I'd like to
she?
think the power of the handshake is exactly what it was that brought Ned back. All right, let's not belittle the handshake.
No,
Well,
No, I
no.
don't
So
wanna-
no, no, no,
that's
no, no.
there's been two different because me and I do my little looking up
Mhm.
that I found that there's two speculations about what occurred in that moment with
Yes.
Ned. It's either A, that the muscle memory bypassed the magic that was in place by Doctor Strange's spell,
Mhm.
or is the spell fraying? Is it starting to fall apart? Did something happen that has triggered it to start to unravel?
So that's and that was something I thought because one, during this whole time, nobody else knew who he was. He had kept a secret, and once you start reintroducing, your identity into people's heads, does that start fraying the spell? And especially when you
Mhm.
look at the factor of when he's in that room with Jean, and she's got the director with the glass and everything, and
Yeah,
it,
Wesker.
yeah, everything shatters and so forth. All those people that were in the observation room and the director dude all saw Spider-Man's face.
Mhm.
So is it that now this knowledge? It's kind of like what do they call it? That global hallucination or shared hallucination kind of thing. It was a shared
So,
block, and as those pieces are starting to crumble for other people,
so the thing that we have already established is anytime that Jean inhabits someone's mind, it's like a complete and total cognitive blackout. It's like they just black out and then warp back into wherever it is that Jean left them.
Mhm.
So that's why I don't think they'll have any memory of having seen Peter's face whenever they were in the jailhouse.
well, I mean, she had dropped the thing with them, and he's
Mhm.
laying there bleeding. So if you're telling me that none of those people, as Punisher came over to grab him and take him and all this stuff, didn't get a glimpse of who he was, because I mean, he left his mask way behind.
Yeah.
She could have wiped him.
Yeah, he very easily could have wiped their memories.
Yeah.
You also got to think, whenever he was sitting there bleeding out right in front of Jean Grey, Jean literally started to breathe for Peter. She was there the entire time.
Yeah, I did
Throughout
notice
the
that.
entire
I did
process of
notice
his
that.
healing, Jean was the one breathing for Peter and like practically keeping him alive.
Yeah, Well, and it's a funny thing when Frank said, she did her voodoo magic thing that kept you alive. Part of me was sitting here thinking, like, did she use telekinesis to keep the blood from coming out? Was she applying pressure?
These are all probably things that she was doing.
Yeah.
Remember, she's an Omega level mutant.
But that goes to play, though. She didn't know she was a telekinetic up until then. Like
Yeah, because I mean, at this point, she's still she's still a kid.
She's
Like,
23.
No, really?
Yes.
She's supposed to
Yeah.
be 23 in this. I
Yeah.
would have put
Yes.
her at like teenage.
No, she's 23.
They put her. They made them all basically out of college age, just out of college kind of age.
Yep.
Which is
Okay.
where, they did that like kind of 4-year quick showing you what had been happening for those 4 years at the beginning, which was a good way to address it. I'm glad. But yeah, it's like, because the way they did it, like when you're doing the scan, when they were doing the scans and forcing the jump back and forth thing, you saw the brain scans change, and I was taking that as that kind of progressed or unlocked that side of her telekinetics.
Well, here's the thing. Marvel likes to do this thing where you see the most powerful version of that character in the most stressful, traumatic situation in their existence at the moment. All right? It's where we've seen Havoc learn to actually fully control his abilities. Was when Lorna's life was in danger around the first time that they met. And this situation could have been that for Jean. And in that moment, they always go on autopilot. It's always the powers go, this is how you're supposed to use me, pay attention because I'm only going to do this once, and then you have to learn how to draw it out.
Yeah, because it did seem, like I said, weird, because it's like, okay, she's a telepath, she jumps bodies, no other thing yet. We got her bouncing back and forth, then the explosion, and then she's hovering glass at the dude's throat. She's, moving other things. It's just kind of like, wow, you got control of that real fucking quick, didn't you?
But how that works. Also, again, let's circle back to earlier in this podcast when it was brought up that is there a chance that the Phoenix Force might still be inhabiting her? And if that's the case, in times of grave danger for the host, because the Phoenix Force is sentient, it can exist outside of a host. It can use its abilities outside of a host. Just when it has a host, it can use it in a more focused manner.
Yeah, it's just going to depend on how they pull the Phoenix on this one, though, because, I mean, people who have the Phoenix Force always knew. Well, say for the last time.
So, for me, personally, I don't think it's like a full embodiment of the Phoenix Force like we've seen before. I think it's more like partial, which is why we were able to explain away the fact that Jean Grey is so much stronger than Sarah, other than it being just natural.
What? Okay, so
No.
do they explicitly say that? I mean, because in this instance, we know that they were testing on Sarah, and she was able, without being near Jean, to get that message about the VMAX through to her, doing whatever the hell it was that they were doing, and ultimately whatever they were trying to do to Jean at whatever they're called, the Department of
Damage Control.
Damage control. DODC.
So
So we know long term she's stronger, sure, but at least in this moment.
Well, that's the thing. Was it Sarah or was it Jean? Because Sarah, being in a heightened state of, her emotions and what was going on, could have just zeroed in Jean's abilities, kind of like she does with Scott. When Scott's
not only that, I also feel like it was because of such a strong connection that Sarah has with Jean. That's the reason why Sarah was able to reach out so far to contact Jean.
Not that it was,
whereas the established 33 to 40 feet of jump distance. I don't think it's necessarily like the fact that Sarah was stronger than Jean at that time, or that Jean is now stronger than Sarah. I think it was mostly just due to the fact that it was like a dying man's last breath.
Yeah. A last moment of
Again.
strength and clarity.
I feel like it all boils down to, and Marvel is notorious for this. All right, it's like one of their favorite things to do in a mutant's most dire hour. All right, whether it be I'm going to die, and I need to do this one last thing because this one last thing is going to save the lives of the people that I care about, or I have one option left, and if I don't do this one option, then everybody, including myself, is going to die. That is when a mutant's powers hit their peak. So things that they weren't normally able to do in this one instance to either further the plot along or save the people in the situation, their powers can do just about whatever it is they need to do. I feel like that is what this is.
And I have to throw something out there with this whole thing because it's something that bothered me like crazy. The VMAX reveal.
Vet Max.
Yeah, I'm like, really?
Hey, it was a red herring clue.
It was a fucking MacGuffin. And the whole fucking thing. I was like, I'm sitting here in my head the whole time going, VMAX, what could that fucking stand for? Going through all my Spider-Man history, all my fucking X-Men history in my head while I'm watching this. You're going, no. Event. It's a fucking vent.
I mean, but it was like, I get it. You wanted it to be some big reveal, but it was still big in its own right. Like, that was the last thing. Like, in this version of Jean, the only real family she ever had was Sarah. And the last thing Sarah ever saw before she died, it wasn't Jean, it wasn't any other loved ones, it was that vent. It was that vent. And she just experienced everything that Sarah was experiencing in her last moments.
Yeah. Like I was sitting here thinking it was going to be something to do with potentially a Sentinel program or, the fucking bullet dart things they had at one point to take away people's powers. The cure,
so stupid.
the mutant cure thing that they tried to come up with.
And there was no way. So I'll wait. I have a whole rant on that. I'll let you finish.
Yeah, but like I said, it's like I was thinking it was going to be something on those lines because of how we had seen them fucking around with everybody else's technology and all this stuff. And yeah, or because when she was looking at the event, honestly, at first, my thought was her awareness is spreading and maybe, great, there's another floor above them and there's somebody there. So I thought she was about to jump through the vent, basically. And they're like, no, we're just going to focus on this tag. I'm like, God damn it.
So real quick, I want to throw something out that I feel like doesn't get talked about enough. The third X-Men movie was where the third Fox one. That was the one where they introduced the Cure. The Cure was a mutant named Leech. All right.
Yep.
Leech is a mutant who has a mutant ability. Is so long as you are within a certain amount of distance from him, he can turn off your mutant abilities. Okay? But and it's not a far range. You have to be almost touching him for it to work, okay? Once you leave that range, your powers come back. So please explain to me how anyone with that kind of knowledge, which I get for the time, probably wasn't a whole lot of people, right? But how is that a permanent cure? And that's what they were trying to call it. It was a permanent cure.
Okay, so technically they just get Leech, they get that part of his RNA, and they synthesize or just keep getting it from the source and inject it into people. He's always with you.
Keep doing it. There's no way one shot from this thing is going to shut off someone's powers permanently. And you know what I think? I think we should make another one of those movies to that style where Mystique gets revenge. All right? That's what I want to see happen, is her get revenge, because she put her life on the line for Magneto to do Magneto things.
You just want to see Rebecca Ramon back in the blue.
Listen, we all have our things.
I'm not disagreeing with you, mind you, but
Isn't she coming back? Isn't she the Mystique for the Doomsday movie?
I've seen some of them.
I don't remember.
Well, that's the thing. There's different casting announcements coming out when it comes to the X-Men right now, and I'm curious if some of these are probably not into. I think the old cast will be in Doomsday, maybe a couple others like this Jean Grey, but what's coming afterwards, I know they're doing their casting on and starting to put out some announcements.
So far, we only have
Emma,
Cyclops.
no, Emma got announced too,
Oh,
Yeah,
Emma
Emma
Goss,
got-
right.
Yeah.
and there was two others that have not been announced but strongly,
Considered.
yeah, the sources are like this is as long as the talks go well, this is who it's going to be. And I
Can
don't
we tell?
mentioning those names yet until we know.
Yeah, no name mentions until everything's 100% confirmed. We don't want to be putting false information out there. But real quick, can we talk about how accurate they got Peter and Frank's relationship?
Oh God,
Yeah.
yes, that was fucking beautiful.
Those like almost every scene that you see where there's Spider-Man and there is Punisher, almost every scene is ripped from the comics.
Mother flip.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
But what was your thoughts on that, Raider?
No, I loved the dynamic between them.
You're still bringing up Staten Island.
It was very nice. I don't want to necessarily use the word comic relief, but like to have that dynamic
Mhm.
is honestly probably some of what helped keep Peter together in nobody else remembering him.
Mhm.
And I do like
I
the fact
also-
it showed that, Peter was active with other people. It kind of introduced the idea of the street level heroes working together.
Yeah. One thing I also do love is the fact that how worried Frank Castle was whenever he realized what he had done.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, that look on his
Another
face.
thing though. Yeah, another thing though. Can we talk about how in the hell that 50 caliber bullet didn't go straight through Peter?
Oh, right.
I'm attributing that if we go to the fact that the wall area around wasn't just a mental thing, it was her telekinesis in play too. I'm kind of looking at it like it was shooting through a low level ballistic gel.
Well, so if you saw, it was only the people that froze. It was not any of the physical items.
What? No, because the dog
There were still
was
car
moving,
crashes.
the dog was moving around and barking, and that
And
part
couldn't
of
get through.
Yeah, I'm about to say, and that part of the leash, if you actually notice, what that she was holding up until that wall did not move at all, but the part where the leash was out and the dog was moving around with the dog. So that's what I'm saying. It's like they kind of almost make it look like her telekinesis and her telepathy were combined in that moment, and she was using both.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if that was a true 50 cal round. Even though the gun looked like a Barrett, I slowed down where the bullet is released. That's too small to be a 50 caliber bullet.
Still, it is a high caliber rifle round.
That was probably being slowed down, moving through the fucking telepathic field it was going through.
And what was our
I think it's just
distance?
movie magic. Okay.
I would say, what was the
Sure.
distance too on that? Because that's the other thing I was trying to figure out. Because he scoped in, and it's still a great distance away from when he's looking through the scope. But yeah,
Yeah, bro has a digital zooming scope on his sniper.
well, yeah, you got to make sure you don't miss.
Now, what do we say about logic?
Get
your
that logic out of
the
my
MCU. But I don't know. It's his whole thing with that too. Just that guilt and how he makes up for it at the end there. You know,
Yeah.
that was
letting,
hilarious.
letting Peter have that moment unmasked with the rest of New York
That was
cheering that he's
beautiful.
better.
That was fucking beautiful because and he played that so well. Both of them did. I love the factor you seen him in there jumping around and like yeah, but also Peter on the street and looking around and seeing how much he matters after everything
Mhm.
he's fucking been through.
Yeah.
Yep. Him being vilified because of Mysterio, which is still a thing that happened. He just wasn't ever outed out as Peter Parker. But him being vilified from Mysterio, him being practically the reason as to why the multiverse almost snapped at one point in time. All that guilt and trauma and strife that he has gone through just to see it come together like that.
Real quick before we jump over to more questions from Raider, did you guys recognize, or know that they made a couple of Marvel TV show things canon in this movie?
Hold on, I'm
No.
trying to think. Nothing that like jumped out at me.
So we got a reference to Tombstone in the Luke Cage series.
Oh,
But
that's what you're talking about. Yes.
he was never confirmed to be Tombstone in the Luke Cage series. And there he was.
He was. God, who did he play in that one? Because it was a different character. It was one of the Serpent Society.
No, you're thinking of someone different. Same movie, someone different. He never got a name, but we knew based on his size, his build, and how he was portraying himself by the end of the show that was going to be Tombstone, and they confirmed it.
Okay.
Trying to find this. I can't remember the actor's name.
I don't remember his name either. I thought it was cool that we got a montage to villains because, come on, let's be real. Spider-Man in any given show has, in the comics and the animated series, right? He's always fought more than one villain in an episode in a row.
Yes. Also love the fact that with each and every single one of those villain montages that they did, it was the cover art of a Spider-Man comic.
It was.
So the one that I caught in there that made me laugh a little bit was Tarantula.
Yep.
Because it took me a second too, because I was like, okay, no, that's not Shocker because the headpiece. And I saw the knife in the boot, and I was like, okay, yep, that's Tarantula.
I wanted to touch on that. Raider, you got any more questions?
I don't think so. I think we pretty much hit up on everything that I at least picked up on.
Thoughts
Okay.
overall about the movie?
I enjoyed it, that's for sure. You know, I like the fact that even with the limited knowledge that I have, like I didn't feel like I was lost, right? I
Mhm.
could still follow along with what was happening and whatnot.
Ollie, Lord, thoughts on the overall on the movie?
Fantastic movie. Probably gonna go see it again at some time.
I've watched it twice so far.
Okay.
I will watch it a third time.
I would say three things there. One, yes, I love the movie. The flow, the action, it was a little bit, followed kind of the standard, what do you call it? Not program, but series that we would expect. But I will also say I saw that fucker in 3D.
Mhm.
It was worth it.
Yeah.
It was fucking worth it. Not even just for the web slinging aspect. Yeah, I mean, one, the fucking muzzle flare during the Hulk fight and everything when he's like dragging him around with that, like all of that. This movie was shot to be seen in 3D. I realized that watching it. And like on a weird note, the end credit, not the song, but the score at the end credit was fucking beautiful. It was amazing. It had a lot of emotion to it. I found myself sitting there just like really getting into that, waiting for the end credit scene. And that's actually really, I'd say, the only part that disappointed me. I was not a fan of the end credits scene.
Why?
I was just expecting more. You know, I was kind of expecting more than just them showing that the app and sighting in space. You know, I was hoping to see a little bit more.
It's all on how you interpret it. 'Cause this is, you know, something else from, again, like I said, I'd like to do a lot of like research and whatnot before we do podcasts of what your take or speculation is. Is this Tom Holland Spider-Man going to space? Or is this something multiverse? Are we looking at bringing back again either Andrew Garfield or Toby? There's a lot of what ifs, and leaving it as open as they did, it leaves the room for everybody to have that speculation.
Well, and the fact they did something they normally don't do, because at the end, it just says Spider-Man will return.
Yep.
Normally, we'll say Spider-Man will return in the Avengers, blah, or in so forth, and they just left it there, which is kind of like, okay.
So yeah, that's the other part. Is it that, or is it something for the Avengers?
Could be Venom.
That's something I was thinking too.
I feel like if it was Venom, though, if they were trying to tease Venom, it would have been a Black Spider-Man symbol.
No, they don't want to give too much away.
I know they don't want to give anything away, but
I don't think that would have necessarily given anything away too, because you've got where is it in my notes? I saw something about the suit that Spider-Man was working on. His black suit.
Mm-hmm. It's not necessarily that he'd be working on it. The black suit is a symbiote suit.
Symbiote, yeah.
Yeah, but so it was did he figure it out? And
I mean, he hasn't encountered it yet.
We have Spider-Man in space.
Yeah, we're still yet to encounter a symbiote with Tom Holland.
Yeah.
Yep.
We know there's a piece of it on the planet somewhere from
yes.
That from the multiverse one, but yeah. I do like the fact that he referenced Peter 2. Peter 2 had organic. Seemed pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they had some good throwback there. So like I said, overall, it's a good movie. It's more. I feel it was a lot more of a setup movie.
Mm-hmm.
So it really is. Where do we take it? Where do we take Jean? Where do we take Peter? Where do we take Punisher? Even, you know, and hell, Black Widow. Because I'm sorry, when you said the words Mysterio, the only thing that rang in my head was
Yelena.
Yeah, Yelena in the bathhouse thing, and like, you know,
potato stuff.
Girlfriend, boyfriend, other. There's some weird speculations online. Have you seen the art? The Tin Mysterio.
Tin Mysterios.
Yeah, I'm just like, that's beautiful. I love this.
And for all intents and purposes, Ollie, Yelena now has the designation of Black Widow.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
I was making that distinction for the viewers who are unaware of that fact yet.
No, fucking get with it. She's Black Widow now, all right? Natasha's gone. She's gone. She's not coming back.
Well, she was Black Widow in Thunderbolts. You know?
Yes.
Like they kind of established her there. So that's been a while. So if you don't know that part.
If you skipped that movie, that's on you. The knowledge was there.
And there's a lot that you want to know
Raider,
from that movie.
If it wasn't for these podcasts, would you have watched those movies? Crickets.
The silence.
Nope, I'm muted. I'm muted because the little man was next to me a moment ago. I would probably watch the newer stuff, but as far as going back and watching other stuff, probably not. Because like, I haven't watched any of like the Black Panther or any of that. So, you know, there's a chance, but probably not a very big one.
Case in point. I rest my case.
Nope, I stand on this. I will die on this hill. Get with it. All right.
I can
All right.
forgive you for not watching the Disney shows sometimes, but the movies.
All right. I guess we're gonna segue now into Doomsday stuff. This is also gonna take a while. I have a lot of thoughts. I have a lot of things to say. And let me start off with something that might get people fired up. I am not going to be very happy if we don't get an explanation of Doom outside of, if they throw in this is just a multiversal variant, fuck you, that's lazy writing. That's such lazy writing. That's so bad. Because listen, they're there. Granted, I don't like where you put them, Marvel. You put them in an animated series and made them all extra goofy, which already Molecule Man and Beyond are they're goofy, eccentric people as is, right? But you made them too, I don't even know how to explain it. You made them too much in the animated series, okay? But for any version of Doctor Doom to be the one to create Battleworld, because Battleworld doesn't exist. It's not this planet that's floating around in between the multiverse, okay? It is either created by the Beyonder or it is created by Doctor Doom when he convinces Molecule Man to borrow him his powers to go steal the Beyonder's powers. There is no version of Battleworld that just existed. Even when the incursion happens, when the incursion starts happening, Doom does the whole Molecule Man bit to get access to the Beyonder's powers. And then what does he do? He takes sections from all the Earths that are colliding and builds Battleworld with it. That is how that happens. So, for the love of God, even if you don't show it, okay? Even if you don't show it, the pieces of the puzzle are technically there and you could explain it. All right? You don't even, it doesn't even matter that we haven't seen them in the live action universe. Both of these beings are part of the group of people, beings, objects that just exist in the multiverse.
Well, and we've got the Celestials. Like, we've talked about them. That's what the Eternals brought in.
Mm-hmm.
Was he mentioned in
Well,
that?
No.
Okay.
Because the Beyonders, so Beyonder is not a title; it's a race. They're a group of aliens, so to speak, that have been around since the creation of existence. All right, the only people that are stronger than the Beyonders are anyone that is a fundamental force of reality or the one above all. But even then, if we go with pre-retcon Beyonder, then there's nothing more powerful than him. But that's a story for a different day. And Molecule Man is a mutant named Owen Reese, all right, who essentially, with his powers, becomes a fundamental force of just existence because he can control anything and everything at the molecular level. Can do whatever he wants with it.
It is a multiversal concept as well.
I hate the fact that way you described Beyonder and the race thing, because the only thing that stuck in my head, and I'm ready for this to blow up in the comments and get some hate. So Beyonder's race and Q are just the same thing, right?
You're fired.
It was good knowing you all. I'm pretty sure people are rushing to my house right now to kill me.
But that's we're just gonna open up with that. That's it, because it's so important to the story that they're doing. And the Incursion run is one of my favorite of the Seeker Wars runs. Okay. Because there are so many cool fights that happen in between. Normally, something like this big, the thing that you're looking forward to is the final fight between Doom and whoever the true hero ends up being, right? Well, in this one, like, we've already seen that we're gonna get the fucking Gambit versus Shang-Chi, because those two can never get along with each other when you put them in the same fucking room. All right, so that's going to be absolutely cool. We're going to see a new Avengers versus X-Men fight is one of the takes that I have here. It's what it feels like we're going to be boiling up to. Because why have these two in the same movie? They don't ever start out as just friends, right?
We've had ABX a couple times now.
It's a deep dive that we can go further into here. I'm just going to bring some stuff up that we can reference off throughout the conversations. You see 3 female statues in Doom's throne room. I don't think those are statues. Doom has 3 super powerful witches at his disposal, okay? And that could be them. And if that's them, it explains what happened to Scarlet Witch after Multiverse of Madness. The other one is Doctor Strange, which could explain why his spell has weakened, if that's what it is. And then the third one is his wife, Calliphy, or whatever her name is.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Who is also a super high level sorceress. I mean, I guess another workaround for not giving us Molecule Man or Beyonder is if we have Sorcerer Supreme Doom.
I mean, yeah, I could see that.
Instead of World Emperor Doom?
God Emperor Doom, the only way you get God Emperor Doom is Molecule Man and Beyonder.
Yes.
So if they're not going to give us that, the only other thing that makes sense would be Sorcerer Supreme Doom. And if that's the case, Spider-Man, you haven't even begun to experience trauma.
And
yeah.
and there's something to be said about Doom too. And this is the one thing that in my head made him stand out the way he did in the comics is he is the science side and the magic side. It's like you take Reed Richards and, Doctor Strange and put them together. He's got access to both worlds. That is what made him so dangerous.
Real quick, Raider, we're going to get really deep and lost in this. So if you have questions, just cut us off.
Well, let's just pretend I know nothing on this because I probably know nothing on this.
That's fine, but if you have questions, interject.
Okay.
Like, do you have any yet?
No.
Okay.
So to your side of incursion, right?
Mm-hmm.
The thing that makes me believe, and honestly, mentioning the fact of how the incursion works and everything, that beginning scene in that trailer with Charles staring out and the explosion, that right there, that made me go, okay, yes, that's probably an incursion.
Yes.
And if you take into fact that incursions are not instantaneous necessarily, then that actually leads us to what we were saying with the Spider-Man thing with the spell weakening of if as that starts, encroaching on each other, if that other one, that spell never happened and people didn't forget, then yeah, it could be fucking up Steven's spell because those realities are merging.
Yep. Yeah.
So again, due to the theory of a multiversal theory, there is a universe in which Steven wasn't able to complete the spell.
Or that Peter never asked him to.
Yep.
Things didn't go as bad. So Peter was like, it's cool. Because that would make sense because them crossing over in the first place could have opened the door to the incursion on the previous Spider-Man movie. We're seeing it starting to happen in this one, and Doom crossing over is just that final step.
Mm-hmm. But it's Doom, all right? So I all right, hats thrown in here on this one. It's Doom. Whenever we see Doom stepping up into something this big, what is it that is the precursor to all of it? Doom has experienced what? Say it with me, class. Some kind of major tragedy.
Because no one in Marvel is trauma-free.
Emotional
damage. Yes. So here's my thought process, right? We have a universe in which Sue Storm exists and Reed Richards exists, right? We have a universe in which Doctor Strange also exists. we have a universe in which Franklin also exists. So is it a far stretch to say that maybe, just maybe, Valeria is the tragedy?
Oh,
I don't think it's a far stretch.
I can see that.
That this Doom is from the planet that is colliding with our Earth, or the Earth that we're seeing, right? But in his world, he has just experienced the loss of his wife and Valeria. I mean, it could be his original kid because he did have a wife and a kid, and they did fucking die. But Valeria, this is going to sound messed up for those of you that don't understand the lore here. Valeria would have been a worse loss for him than his wife and his actual daughter.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about how Franklin played into the, Secret War storyline and Valeria. So it makes sense.
Mm-hmm. And in the Incursion storyline, it is. I'm not gonna. Don't quote me on this because I could be wrong. But it is something happens with Valeria, and he either loses access to her, or she dies. But a lot of Doom's over, because he is a narcissistic dictator at the end of the day, okay? But a lot of his over-the-top rage moments are justified because something really bad happened to him. This man is not allowed to experience any kind of joy whatsoever in his existence, and anytime it happens, fate is like, ha 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 ha, flick, wrong.
Well, that was
that
underlying thing in Secret Wars too. I mean, you got to think about it. He gets all this power and control, and what does he do? He fucking basically takes over Reed's life, makes his wife, sue his, has the kids that look at him like a loving father. You know, it's like, I have everything now. That, like, his drive is weirdly enough to say, it's like the white picket fence with Susan was always a part of it, and controlling the world.
Yep. I mean, but also, if you take a step back here, Latveria does not know struggle. Like, you would, crazy dictator wants total absolute power control over the world, but that one place that is home, that holds a special place in his heart, his people don't want for nothing. There is no poverty in Latveria.
There's no war. Well, I think they had a couple storylines where, like, the insurgent kind of things happened, but it was never like a big thing.
Yeah.
Funny enough, and this is going to be a weird take, but I always drew some parallels between Latveria and North Korea. Because the people there were isolated. The insurgencies never happened until the outside world interacted and had their propaganda there.
Okay, I guess to a point, yeah.
Just, with the main distinction being the fact that North Korea is poverty as poverty as fuck.
But they all worship Doom, basically, not as a god, but as,
There
were some storylines there.
Listen.
So, dude, how much of that are they going to bring into? Like, how much of Latveria are we going to see?
I would assume they have to give a little backstory to Doom for the casual viewer.
And I'm going to completely sideline us here, but you know what I just realized? With the fact that we now have Franklin Richards and the Fantastic Four all coming into the MCU, we could see Uncle Spidey.
Yes.
Oh no, I completely spaced it. Yeah, because so in the comics, all right, not to say that this is going to happen in the movie at all, but in the comics for this version of Battleworld, I do not remember the specific events that lead up to it, but Johnny ends up having to sacrifice himself to become the sun for Battleworld. and
Yeah.
you have this moment between, yeah,
I must say, 'cause I thought it was the Annihilation Wave. I know he sacrificed himself to that at one point too, so that's why I was like,
yeah. No, he sacrificed himself a lot. But this one instance is the one where you get the Uncle Spidey moment between Franklin and Spider-Man, where Franklin is sitting there saying, I can fix it, I can fix it, I can bring it back, I can turn things around. And that's where Peter's consoling him, explaining to him that, the sacrifice will mean nothing if you turn everything around, and that this is just a cycle of life, that people die, and just because you have this power to rewrite reality and make things however you want doesn't mean that you should do it, and doesn't mean that it comes without consequence.
And then he drops a line on fucking Franklin too.
Mhm.
With great power comes great responsibility.
Yes, he does. But honestly, a lot of them, I love any moment that involves Franklin, for the most part, is going to end up with something super wholesome. Because at the end of the day, no matter which version of him you see, he's always just a kid.
at one point we do see his future self, but that's another. That was just a specific run.
That whole run is centered on one thing and one thing only: Galactus becoming a little bitch. That is the only thing that matters in that run, is the infamous, "To me, my Galactus."
And the fact
And
is,
Galactus going, "Yes, Daddy."
and here's the thing: like introducing Spider-Man to within the Fantastic Four connection because of his connection with Reed on the scientific intelligence, with Johnny, his friendship with Johnny, and even the way he was with Ben. There's a reason why he was part of the Future Foundation when Reed formed that, while he was one of the new Fantastic Four when we had the whole Hulk, Wolverine, Ghost Rider, Spider-Man.
Yep.
It's like he has a deep connection with the Fantastic Four. So seeing that get established and become a thing would be fucking amazing, to be honest. I mean, the fact that Spider-Man himself is so tied into all these other fucking groups, Avengers, what was that? Even just like the other ones, like in the comics, I don't think there's really anybody he hasn't fucking teamed up with or had a team with.
Mm-hmm. He's worked with the X-Men, but he's never been an official member of the X-Men.
Yeah.
I think the closest we got was...
Well, that's because the X-Men are racist.
Oh.
Ooh. That's... All right, go ahead. Prove me wrong. Prove it.
Prove it?
Yep.
Has there ever been a non-mutant on the X-Men?
Moira McTaggart.
But I thought...
That didn't come until she had left the X-Men to go work Muir Island and do mutant research. Then they were like, oh yeah, by the way, she's a mutant. But up until that point, Moira worked with the X-Men, was an official member of the X-Men, but was just a human that ran everything behind the scenes for them.
Hold on.
Also, I was just making a funny fucker.
I know you were. I know you were.
I mean, technically, Juggernaut, long shot.
Juggernaut has been a member of the X-Men.
Yeah.
Longshot has been a member of the X-Men.
Yeah, but neither of them are mutants.
Yep.
Danger, Warlock. Warlock was more than mutants, but he did crossover. I'm not counting Lockheed. The little dragon. I mean, come on. He was only a member because he was attached to fucking Kitty.
He wasn't attached. He wasn't attached. Because if he was attached, he never would have left. He
Okay,
never would have left.
True. Phantom X, because he was Super Soldier.
Yep.
There's a couple others, but those are the ones that are prominent in my head. So I mean,
and you got to think the cast for Doomsday has got to be way bigger than what they've shown. So it has to be. Secret Wars, there's no way, because we don't know the villain side. And Secret Wars, even when they did this version, it was still good guys versus bad guys.
And this is where I kind of have a little worry on Doomsday.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think this is going to be the goddamn equivalent of Batman and the Justice League rounding everybody up. And that's going to be because of how many people are going to get rounded up and shit. That's basically going to be the entire movie. Small things happening that are going to lead to the bigger thing, and everybody getting rounded up to take on the fight. And then we're going to end on some kind of cliffhanger, and then we'll get our answer in Secret Wars.
Here's my thing. I am okay with this so long as they get a couple things. All right. 1 second here. The Shang-Chi. I need to remember what their beef is about. Shang-Chi and Gambit beef.
It's over their accents and not being able to understand each other.
Watch, that's exactly could be it.
That's exactly what it is.
What did you say? What did you call me? No, that's not what I say. I honestly think he's just ego, because they're both very ego characters in the comics.
They are. They both are. Explained. No, they have a beef in the comics, and nothing is telling me what it is. It's just focusing on the trailer.
Isn't it like Moon Knight and Dracula?
No, I hope.
Oh God.
Gambit Gambit owes Shang-Chi money.
Oh, this is okay. Learning there is no actual major comic book beef or deep-seated rivalry between them.
They just hate each other.
No, they don't even hate each other in the comics, is what I'm looking at. So, but again, this could be that whole because the scene that you see, everyone is coming into the X-Mansion. So this just could be there are foreign people that should not be allowed here in the X-Mansion. Defend. You know?
Outside the movies and things, yeah, they really haven't. They just, why do I think there's got to be somebody else, and I'm confusing Shang-Chi with somebody else, which being the fact that at a time frame Shang-Chi was more of a background character,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because I know he had his run, then it kind of stopped, and like with a lot of Marvel characters, he just kind of got left there for a while and occasionally pulled out of mothballs, you know, to get thrown into a story and then put right back. So I'm like seriously looking over.
The only rivals that he has, we've got Mystique, Bishop, Sinister, and the Thieves and Assassins Guild. Sinister and the Thieves and Assassins Guild makes sense, so they're all tied in with the Mutant Massacre.
Yeah. Oh, and also, you know, how they, I mean, because I could see them tying the 10 Rings into the Assassin's Guild.
They could, yeah.
And
Bishop makes sense. Bishop makes so much sense.
Yeah.
When Bishop was first introduced in the animated series, it was because, and what started all of the horrible stuff that happened in Bishop's timeline was back in the 90s, there was a mutant who assassinated the president. And what they thought was that it was Gambit. What they end up finding out is that it was Mystique who disguised herself as Gambit.
Ha! That sounds familiar to me.
Yeah?
I mean,
Where?
they plugged that into the movie without it being Gambit.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That part.
So.
And you said it wrong, by the way. It's,
did I?
It's not the 1990s. It's the 90s. Because
Whatever.
we got to get back to the 90s.
We will get into the X-Men stuff on the next live. Raider has a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah, I know we kind of put it in here that we were going to talk about X-Men. So I think the only thing that we really need to hit on is that next week is the finale of the season.
Mm-hmm.
it has definitely been a ride. There's been a lot of reveals, a lot of twists, and if you haven't seen it, let this be your spoiler warning for the next episode we do. So you
Get
need
caught
to
up.
get out there, watch it, take your notes because we definitely want to hear from you in the chat. That it's going to be interesting to see how this one concludes.
Also, for those of you that are like, well, I haven't watched the first season of X-Men 97. Well, fun little surprise for you here. Raider has said that she wants to watch the first season.
Yes,
So
so we can even do a little backpedal in our
Mhm.
next episode, go over first season and then into second, because I'm probably just gonna full on binge the entire thing.
Have tissues.
And here's the thing: if
I
you
don't, saying
F
shit like I'm not
tissues.
gonna do it now. No, I'm not gonna do it.
yeah,
Okay,
Nope.
that's on you. That's on you.
yeah, especially for the end of last season, you need tissues. I needed fucking.
Oh no,
tissues.
that's what I'm saying. If you're telling me I'm gonna need tissues, now I'm just not gonna watch it. How'd that go for you the first time you tried to make me watch something that traumatic happened?
I mean, if it makes you feel better, it doesn't have anything to do with animals.
Yeah, right. It's not.
That's better.
We're not Punisher one more day this time, okay? And to be fair, he did that to me too. So,
Yeah, but you kept watching. I stopped right there.
She still
Nope.
hasn't finished the
I'm
Punisher
done.
one shot.
No, I'm telling you, I hit that spot and I was like, no, I'm over this.
yeah. I mean, you can. The recaps they give in season 2 and everything does catch you up, and I love the fact that some of these recaps go back to the freaking actual 90s show sometimes, and they give you clips from that, and you're just like, oh yeah, I forgot about that because some of us are old as fuck. So definitely catch up and watch it. And I would say too, like streaming both seasons in a day, because you got basically between the end and the opening credits. I mean, they're like less than 20-minute episodes, really. They're like 18.
Yep. All right, you two, thoughts and predictions for Doomsday. I've been running my mouth this whole time.
I am thinking, like I said earlier, it's an incursion Doom, and it's not an actual 616 Doom. It is going to be. I can't really say for sure which version of Doom that it's going to be, but I'm really interested to see how they come about introducing him, and as to whether or not it is actually going to be like a version of Doom that I saw in a comic run a while ago, where he took over Tony Stark's body, which is the reason why we got casted as Robert Downey Jr.
So I'm going to burst your bubble right now before the movie does, because they've already addressed this. They addressed it shortly after they announced RDJ was going to be Doom. This isn't a variant. This isn't a Doom that took over Tony Stark's body. This is Doom. This is the main Doom. Because everybody was up in arms. Like, why Robert Downey Jr., blah, blah. And if you actually take a look into Robert Downey Jr.'s acting career, there's only one other actor that I think could pull this off. And around the time they were doing casting for Doom, he was working on another season for a TV series, and everything conflicted, so he couldn't do it. Cillian Murphy would have been an amazing Doom. However, I believe he was working on another season of Peaky Blinders when they were doing all of this. So the only other actor that I feel could pull Doom off to the appropriate degree, because we've seen how versatile he is in every role that he does, is Robert Downey Jr.
What, you want to put a Skarsgård in there?
No, I would not. Sorry, Pennywise.
Well, the funny thing about it too, though, it's really going to be interesting too, because the mask aspect. When Kirby originally wrote it, it was Doom's narcissism. It was like a small scar, and he hit his face because of it. But then over the years, it got to be the red hot mask thing, completely disfigured, and that got reversed for a while because of Secret Wars. So that's why it's like, which version are we getting? Maybe
I hope
that's.
it's the tiny scar.
I really do, because I always thought that was hilarious. His need for perfection is so high that I have a tiny scar. Mask, metal mask.
But yeah, no. As cool as it would have been, I feel like if they were gonna go with the Doom possessed Stark, they wouldn't have done the face reveal at the Comic-Con, because it would have been a bigger, kind of like when they revealed finally the Cap was worthy to hold Mjolnir.
Yeah.
It would have been like that level of wow. And the Russo brothers are about the wow factor.
Don't they have that little snippet in the trailer too with Doom and what the fuck's is her name in her suit?
Ironheart or
No,
You talking
Shuri?
Susan?
No.
Okay.
Hang on.
let's see, there's only
Give
a
her
few
a minute.
females I can think of that they have introduced that have suits.
I think they should have done more with Rescue.
Oh God, yes, that was a missed opportunity.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Rescue took over for Tony for a long while.
Yeah, it would be nice to have actually seen any reference in the last two Spider-Man movies to War Machine or Ironheart or Rescue.
I
Like,
get
Oh,
why.
never
okay.
mind. That was AI. Just kidding.
Okay.
There was a thing with Pepper.
no, so
yeah.
I thought that was actually a thing in the trailer too, though. Like he's
It
not in the
says-
suit, not in the suit, but he's talking to her.
It says that is an AI made concept.
Because that has to be in there. There has to be a confrontation. I want to see Pepper stand up to Doom because I feel like she
Yeah.
would. Why do you have my husband's face?
Did you guys see the trailers that they had?
The individuals?
No. Have you guys not seen the newest, like, fucking... They did the full trailer for Doom, and then they had another one afterwards.
I saw the one for 2 weeks ago that started with, the explosion thing with Xavier sitting there looking out the window.
Yeah, that's the one that I saw.
Yeah, that's the one I
Okay.
saw.
So, we're going to have you watch it, but we're going to talk about it a little bit, all right? Because they do a reveal that I feel like we could have held off. We now know what the Sentinels look like.
Really?
Yes, the second trailer has Doom on the ground, and it doesn't show who he's fighting. If I remember off the rip, it doesn't show who he's fighting. But you hear him go, your first mistake was assuming because I was still and silent that I'm dead. And then he pushes his magic into the ground, and the Sentinels pop up out of the ground.
Hold on. Going to the official Marvel channel. Because if that's the case, then then they've kind of.
Apparently, there's a blink and you miss it frame within this. Doom appears to have or be absorbing the powers that mirror Loki's God of Stories reality warping crown.
Oh yeah, I saw that. He has a little TVA card with Loki.
Yeah, I saw the TVA card as he flipped it around.
That would be an acceptable way to explain the powers to create Battleworld.
Well, yeah, because if it is that Loki, then if he basically snags or takes control of Loki, then he could reshape.
Yeah.
But then I feel like that ends with, a Franklin Loki standoff, which could be funny.
Like, here's the thing. Just because you brought this up, there's a whole section of the internet that I need to quiet real quick, okay? He's not God of Stories Loki. Go away. Go away. This one's not for you. Come back when we're talking God of Stories Loki. It is confirmed that he was not God of Stories Loki. It was confirmed by Marvel.
The outfit plus the aspect of the Multiverse of World tree manipulation. I mean,
They
Which
outright came out and said that he's not God of Stories Loki.
Are they gonna just make a new fucking title then and basically have it be similar? You know, like no, we're not gonna call him that because it's different on how it happened and
Well, so I think what they're trying to do is avoid writing themselves into a corner, right? They're getting like they've been looking towards the end for the Avengers esque saga, right? They want to get into the mutant stuff. God of Stories Loki, what do you do with that? It's like Rune King Thor. You have made someone so powerful, who stands up to them? And for the people that do, how do you bring them in? How do you explain them? How do you build a story around them? And how do you close it out if you can close it out? Because these are people, God of Stories Loki, the reason he would not work is he exists outside of the timeline. You have to have a way to close this out. What is it? He fucking decides he's bored with everything and goes and chills with the writers and authors? Or do we do a Deadpool kills all scenario where he got so powerful that the only way to close it out was he had to go kill the writers and the illustrators of the comic book?
That would honestly be hilarious to see Ryan Reynolds running around Marvel Studios killing everyone.
I would want a fourth wall break with somebody sitting in their damn chair, you know, about to film a movie and just kick. We preempted
Like,
that one.
no, the fourth wall break where it's like literally in set and he just goes in and is like slaps whoever's directing the movie at the time. Or slaps Kevin Feige and just
we technically already had it in Deadpool Wolverine. Or no, second Deadpool movie, sorry. So whichever one it was where he goes back and
yeah,
the second one. The second one, because at the end of it, it's the Kevin robot that's supposed to represent Kevin Feige, and he goes, "Oh, we'll leave you alone."
Fair enough.
I will say I more just think about the you know, going back to the other Deadpool he played in that scene, and the Green Lantern script on the desk. That scene.
Yeah.
But that's why, like, learn from the comics, right? How many times in the comics do we see both Marvel and DC take and write themselves into a corner because they made a character that was just too strong? Speaking of DC, we're going to touch on some DC stuff here because we have some stuff coming up. But how often do we see that happen to them, right? You got God of Stories Loki, Rune King Thor, Superboy Prime, Superman 1 million.
I mean, because it's always the push to make the bigger, better, more powerful version that we've not seen, and then have something happen so they lose it all again. That's always the fun part.
What was it, 2 years ago? They did a run with Raven where she got so powerful she was wiping out the multiverse.
Yeah.
We have seen it too often in the comics, and again, as much as people, the casual viewer is like, well, they can't rip from the comics entirely. Mostly they have to, because these characters don't exist except in the comics. So if you don't reference the comic enough, then you're going to lose your main consumer. All right, so the power set, everything is all pre-established, and you just avoid the mistakes. And that's why I believe they're going with a different title and a slightly different power set for that version of Loki than God of Stories Loki, because he can't be killed. You can't erase him from existence. You can't stop him from using his powers. A battle between him and Franklin, the only people that lose is everybody that exists in the multiverse. So,
not wrong,
but it is
an epic battle.
It would be, but you bring up a good thing there, Raider. Like, that would be an acceptable way to explain Doom's new powers into the scale that he could wield them. Because in that moment, if you have not watched the Loki series, go watch it. It's really good. They did a great job of it. But in that moment, he went from, because most of Loki's powers was illusion magic. And he went from a mastery of illusion magic to the ability to create and destroy fucking timelines.
Yeah, that's doesn't get
Before
enough love.
Yeah, before we shift, Lord, your thoughts on and takes.
Like I said, I think we're talking Doomsday. Definitely thinking that we're incursion based, which means it could be any number. I mean, even the Loki that we technically get from this. I mean, we see the TVA thing, but the TVA exists in multiple realities as well. Well, they exist in multiple realities plus outside reality and all sorts of fun stuff like that. We are talking confusion time. Really just depends on how they do it, because I want to see how deep they set Loki into it, because the fact that they brought him, they showed the clips they do during the preview, shows me there's an importance there. There's an importance to Steve being back, and I don't know if it's just so he can play opposite RDJ again and them fighting, because that did very well for Civil War. But I do think that Marvel is putting themselves in a situation where they are going to have to keep powering up and introducing stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger characters. Because I mean, that line from Thor, making Doom seem like the biggest threat ever. When it's like, well, let's think of some of the things you faced. You faced Thanos with the fucking full gauntlet, and you're telling me you're more afraid of Doom than that.
Oh, that's why they introduced Sentry. I guarantee you that's why.
Okay. I could see that. I can see that, because Sentry is fucking scary as shit. Void/Sentry. Which is another reason why you should definitely go watch Thunderbolts if you haven't, folks. I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, honestly, I'd like to just say it this way: Marvel, thank you for the birthday present, because it comes out on my birthday. So I appreciate that. Every once in a while, you do that for me, and I appreciate it.
And because we haven't said it, if you've made it this far into listening and hanging out with us, do me a solid. It costs you no money at all. If you could subscribe, hit that like button, throw a comment down, tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. Tell Ollie he's pretty. He needs to hear it every once in a while, I guess. But if you could do those things for me, that'd be greatly appreciated. But yeah, no, we already have some really crazy heavy hitters. All right, they could give us merged Sentry.
Ooh.
And that's literally just Bob has control over the Void now. Or it's not so much control. They both have come to an understanding that they need each other to exist. One can't exist without the other.
So Void Sentry, I've always looked at as a parallel to Banner Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
Independent, but at times cooperative.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, we're gonna segue into one last topic here, and this also might take a little bit now that I think about it more. But we have been focusing a lot on Marvel lately, and it's mainly because all the DC stuff ain't coming out till late this fucking year, if not next year. But the 15th of this month, we get the Lantern series.
Oh, you're going for that one? Okay.
Yeah, is there something that comes before it?
No, but there is something else that comes out this year.
What else is coming out this year?
Clayface, October 23rd.
Oh yeah, that's right, Clayface. But the Lantern series, we have an idea of who the big bad is going to be. The last trailer they dropped, we got mention of the Manhunters.
Which seems
Um,
kind of an odd one to go into right off the bat.
yes and no. They're going to avoid the big ones. For now, probably. Like I don't see a world where Parallax is brought back into the Lantern universe for a while. They bombed it the last time they fucking touched it.
That's true.
Manhunters is a nice little segue in. Not too weak, but not too powerful. Just enough where you will see the Lanterns display their full range of abilities.
Well, I'm wondering if we're going to get hints of any of the other cores during this.
Potentially, I wouldn't expect much. This is an intro to everything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm wondering if we're going to see maybe, because I think they cast the Sinestro for this one too, didn't they?
Yeah, but it could be early game Sinestro. Sinestro didn't just become a Green Lantern and it was like, you know what? I'm a Yellow Lantern now. Like, I think it was over a century of service to the Green Lantern Corps where he realized that and again, when Sinestro became a Yellow Lantern, he didn't do it out of like, I'm going to become a villain. It was they needed a stronger power to defeat a stronger enemy.
Yeah.
And he lost faith in will.
He did it to have that extra power, but I always took that as, part of his power hungry side. He always wanted to be the strongest and the best.
It was part of it, yes, but the large majority of it was to protect the core. And then inevitably, like when he first gets the yellow ring, he's not evil when he first gets the yellow ring, all right? It's not until he has his encounter with Parallax that everything changes.
I would say when they kicked him out, because that was before.
100%. I will give you that.
Yeah, it's like when they kicked him out and he was like, I am trying, because his whole thing is basically the Guardians don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And that has been his ongoing thing.
Well, you got to think his sector was like the perfect sector whenever he was defending it.
He was rolling it with an iron fist.
Yes. But it was still, in the eyes of the Green Lantern Corps, perfect.
No, because that's why they kicked him out. Was not only his dabbling with this other thing, but the way he used his powers, the way he controlled and basically took away free will. It was do my way or the highway. Okay,
Owen's pot, meet kettle.
Yeah, okay, true. Especially when it comes to the fucking Guardians. You will do things this way, but maybe no.
Let me introduce you to the Manhunters, huh? The villains of the TV show.
It's just about how deep they go into the Manhunters, because I don't want to give too much away, knowing what I know.
Mm-hmm.
But the chronology of it all, if it's going to be done right.
Well, they even in the have you not watched the trailer?
I watched the trailer, but I might not have caught it.
In the trailer, fucking Al talks about how the Manhunters were the first. Before the Corps, there was the Manhunters.
Okay, yeah, I gotta say I watched it when it came out, and I probably should have refreshed.
Yeah, I watched it last night. I was like, I got a couple things.
Because I was saying, because I got the two things running through my brain. That's why I went to go see Spider-Man last night. But because I saw that, I also saw the Clayface trailer, and yeah, that's what's
Clayface. We're not even going to touch Clayface until like late September.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. There's more that I think we'll see in trailers between now and then. Mm-hmm. So it'll be interesting to see what direction. I have an idea where they're going, but that's going to be huge speculation right now.
Mm-hmm. We are going to see three Earth Lanterns. We'll see Hal, we'll see John, and Guy makes an appearance.
I wonder if they're going to explain that too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because order of operations, if I remember correctly here, Hal gets a ring, Guy gets a ring, then John gets
order of event, not order of operations. Don't bring math into this.
Sir, yes, sir. And now I die. And then, Kyle.
Yep. Well, and then
Power
there's
gets affected. Yes.
there was the chicks, the two girls,
What, Jade?
Jade, and then what was the other one? The other one was like, well, I say Hal's, but also Kyle's, but I really feel like the other two
Oh,
had a turn too. Jessica, I think was her name.
Jessica, I thought came later.
I think so.
Well,
She
Jessica,
was still a Green Lantern.
I thought Jessica and Jade are the same people I'm thinking of.
No.
Nope. The only reason I remember is because I once argued for them in a team fight. One of them. I don't remember which one it was. I think it was Jessica.
Yeah, no, Jessica Cruz was later because she didn't even debut until August 2014.
Yeah, but she fucking she got dipped by every Earth male Green Lantern.
I thought no, that wasn't Cruz. That was Jade. Jennifer.
Am I thinking Jennifer?
Yeah, the daughter of Alan Scott.
Yeah. And she's the reason we have a Gray Lantern now. You guys aware of this? Are you aware of this? She's
No.
the reason she is the
story.
reason we have a Gray Lantern, because she fucking led this poor son of a bitch on, had him fall madly in love with her, and then they get to the altar and she's like, yeah, nah, I'm out, dips. And like the sadness and sorrow was so intense that it created a new emotion on the spectrum and created a new ring.
No. So it wasn't Jade. You're thinking Carol. Star Sapphire.
Is that Carol?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a fiance of Carol.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay, see, that's not fair. That's not fair. Right? Carol leaves him at the altar to go rescue Hal. And that gives him the heartbreak and infuses engagement ring with the gray energy of sadness, because Gray's sorrow.
Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, depression has become a superpower.
Jesus fucking Christ. I'm reading the actual power tree. Status of decay, unlike standard rings that drive swift action, gray energy encourages stasis and inaction. Nature's touch can physically wilt living things like roses. Emotional draining. Gray energy drains the motivation and willpower out of heroes, making them incredibly vulnerable to harm. And cosmic battery manipulation?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. I just want to see Walker St. John and them just have an arm wrestling contest to see who can drain who first. I'm either going to give you hope or you're going to drain me of mine. Let's go, bitch. Wow. I'm going to have to go through. I'm behind on my.
Bro needs to get on BetterHelp.
His Zoloft prescription will.
Wow. Yeah, that's definitely recent. I probably haven't read.
This is like last year. This was revealed. I think.
Green Lantern 13, 2024, which was end of 2024. Wow, though, that's part of the Absolute Power comic storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I love the fact that apparently Gray Lantern was actually a fan fiction concept a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you go out there and read some of the fanfic and stuff, we actually have 387 different cores. That'll be okay. So we sidetracked on the aspect of lanterns, though. Like you said, we got the Manhunters. It is looking a bit more mystery, which is the detective route, which I do think is interesting for basically Hal and Stewart. Not something I ever, when I think about their characters, I've never put them as we're the mystery solvers.
They are not. No, they are the sledgehammer to the brick wall.
Yeah.
That is 110% what they are.
I was hoping we were going to get Black Lanterns already.
No. But you know what? In terms of runs that would look good translated into live action, Darkest Night or Deceased, either of those two.
Yeah.
Because both of those involve heavy the Lantern cores.
Well, that's where the curious thing is. How far ahead have they thought with this?
Mhm.
Because if this is an introduction to basically the world of lanterns, which they gave us Guy, but he's just kind of there. Not a lot of history, not a lot of anything else with him. And we've seen him twice, Superman and Peacemaker.
Mhm.
So, he's gotten his references there. But now we're seeing kind of like the OG Earth Green Lantern story after that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm expecting a lot of fucking flashback, to be honest.
Question. Kyle Rayner excluded. In your opinion, who would you say is the strongest Earth Green Lantern?
You're an
I want to
asshole.
hear yours, and I'll tell you what mine and why I'm right.
You're an asshole because Kyle is my absolute favorite. He was always
I know.
my favorite. So it's like, fuck you, but I get
But,
where
like,
you have to separate because his power was
It's not
different.
questionable then. It's not questionable then, though, if you involve Kyle.
Yeah,
Mhm.
True. You can't because
Kyle Rayner is unquestionably the strongest lantern
To
of
exist.
all of them.
Mm-hmm.
shit. And I'm not talking Parallax Hal.
No, you're not.
Either because
No, you're not.
that when you're wearing 10 rings, nobody really, It's like, wait a minute, did you steal that from Marvel? He had 10 rings too. It's willpower alone wise, they've always thrown it to Hal. But in the construct department, I feel it's always been Jon Stewart.
Mhm.
That, like, when it comes to the strongest complexity to it, what they can do, his shit is, amazing. Second to Kyle, of course, but just because of the way he actually constructs it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Hal's, if you really look at Hal's, most of his shit's always simple.
Mm-hmm.
Boxing glove
Because-
or arrow or something like that.
Because John is an architect, and his time in the military with his constructs, he factors in every moving part, and that's what makes it so impressive. But he's not who I would say is the strongest.
You're gonna say Guy
I am. Do you know why?
because you like hot-headed redheads.
No, Guy has the strongest will. We'll just jump over here. Guy has the strongest willpower out of all of the Green Lanterns, and I can prove this. 2 parts. One, when you put the red ring on, that's it. If you take it off, you die because it essentially changes your blood into like magma. Okay? You know what Guy has done? Guy has repeatedly taken off the red ring, repeatedly, and been fine.
I thought he had help.
I think the first time he had help.
Yeah, he was cleansed by Kyle the first time after Blackest Night. Yeah, it was a New 52 run. And then the Light of Hope purge. Yeah, he's the fact that this ring keeps finding him too. Let's just say that too.
Yeah, and then hold on. My favorite part that everybody seems to look over. The current version of Guy Gardner. Well, maybe not the current to me, all right? He had his body fucking just destroyed. All right? And he, from scratch, from his brain power and the ring power, rebuilt his entire internal organ system. Stomach, small intestines, large intestines, liver, kidney, heart, everything. Rebuilt it out of the constructs and keeps it running. Like, he can't leave Oa right now because on Oa, the battery doesn't ever have to recharge. But through sheer willpower, he is staying alive.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, the Pure Will, the New 52.
Mhm.
It was literally he amped up his rage and willpower.
Yep.
To defeat Atrocitus, and actually became the Uber Red Lantern. His rage was so intensely pure, he completely overrode his ring's biological death sentence. And he was able to take it off. And then the time after that, the Prime Earth infection, Red Light of Rage thing, where he absorbed the latent red energy from entire cities to save the world. I will say this: Guy is no coward, ever.
No.
In fact, sometimes he fakes fights when he shouldn't. But damn. I don't even know how to compare that to Hal, because Hal was always meant. I mean, even the Guardians themselves had praised Hal's level of willpower.
Mhm.
They hated him because he had his moral compass, and you really couldn't push him one way, push him out of it. He would be the good soldier sometimes, but he'd always push his own agenda, which is why when he led the Green Lanterns, it was very interesting. Same with, but I see that too with Guy leading the fucking Red Lanterns, you know. Wow, that's actually kind of funny too when you think about it. There's always been that clash and animosity between Hal and Guy, because they both are different personalities and do things their way. Guy has evolved over the years. I'm thinking 80s, early 90s time of Guy while he was basically with Fire and Ice, where they were in Justice.
Yep.
So that version of Guy is kind of what's always stuck in my head. And then, you know, there are the aspects of, like you said, Blackest Night, and all that. But yeah,
he was a force to be reckoned with and deceased.
Yeah, he was. He was a fucking beast.
Here, like, this is my favorite thing with tropes like Guy, because it's the same as like Michelangelo from the Ninja Turtles, right? You have this goofy smartass that doesn't take anything serious, so you don't ever take him serious. But Guy is not the Lantern to fuck around with. He does not care. He is a narcissistic fucking prick. But when it comes to the people and the things and the places that he cares about, in my opinion, outside of Kyle Rayner, because he is like naturally in tune with the emotional spectrum, right? So outside of Kyle, I would put Guy up against anyone from any core, and I put my money on Guy.
Okay, and to be fair, you could also be in touch with every side of the emotional core as well. Just have your girlfriend killed and shoved into a refrigerator.
Apparently, that's all it takes.
I mean, think about it. At that moment, he was feeling all of it. Yeah. It will be interesting to see how they go, because I think having all three Earth Lanterns already in the show is definitely going to require them to give some serious backstory and really give us the current take on Oa and the rules of the Green Lantern and all that. Like they're gonna have to go into it.
And from what I've gathered, this isn't just brand new. This is Hal's been around for a while, because he's not working within the core. He's training for the core. And during the time that Hal was doing this, the Guardians absolutely hated him because of how he would train the new Lanterns. He would not follow any of the rules that the Guardians set for training new Lanterns.
And
he trained them like they were Earthlings.
And see, this is where what I want is for it to start off with John being trained by Kilowog. And then, you know, him going at, no, that's not how you train a fucking Earthling.
I hope Kilowog makes an appearance.
They've got to
in this. Him and Hal were so close.
Yep.
It's going to be interesting. Like I said, this is going to lead. I feel like this is also one of those on the TV side that I think going into the new Justice League that they're building.
Have they officially announced that's where we're headed?
Okay, so one thing that has been confirmed on the next Superman movie on Man of Steel, we have seen Nightwing on set.
I don't know. I saw something and it looked too fucking staged for me.
That's the problem with some of the sites. It's like, sometimes I wonder, even the reputable sites, if they're getting, you know, bad news sometimes nowadays.
I would put this on a maybe. I'd put this on a 50-50, and I wouldn't push more of it until we know more.
Well, let's see here. I know a great way to find out.
Raider, do you have any questions from anything we brought up here?
Just another thing onto the list of things I need to watch because I don't know nothing when it comes to lanterns.
This is one that I really want to get Shadow in for, but it's going to be so difficult to get him on here because the Lanterns is his bread and butter. But again, the Lanterns is also like if you want to be a part of the breakdowns on it, Raider, would love to have you jump in with thoughts and stuff like that. But after an episode or two, if you find that it's not your thing, that's okay. Just hang out and ask a question or two if you have one while we spiral.
And there will be spiraling.
As
Just
you
be sure to watch the
so-
live action movie because it ties into a lot.
No. What were you saying, Raider?
I was waiting for Minnie to actually yell at me for it, but you know.
You mentioned spiraling, and I was just saying, as you guys so often do.
Yes. Yeah. And now, okay, now that I heard your thought, what the fuck are you thinking, Ollie? Go ahead. Explain to me. Go ahead. I want you to explain to me right now how that movie is going to fucking tie into a goddamn thing on this TV series. Let's go. Come on. We have hours. I bet you can't even pump out a minute's worth.
You want to know how? Because I knew it would make you yell at me and I'd get a reaction.
Explained nothing. You faked.
Aside from the fact that I did what I wanted.
So here's a weird question when it comes to DC. Is Lanterns playing into that part 1 Gods and Monsters?
I mean, maybe there are better stories to start out with, though.
Because I think the fact that that's what Gunn is calling this phase, Gods and Monsters, and I get where he's going with it. Back, we even had the damn animated movie years ago, Gods and Monsters. So is that might be directing which way it goes, and maybe this is something different. This could be a unique take on the lore because we've seen they're willing to rewrite shit. We've absolutely seen that. I just want my eventual really good big screen Lantern movie.
No, maybe we get to it, and maybe, well, the 15th. That's next weekend, right?
Yep.
Yep. I think so. Let's see. Let me check the premiere date. Because I knew it was this month. 16th. So it's going to be
16th?
Sundays.
Okay. All right. So the next podcast, God, these next few podcasts are going to be big, guys. All right. I don't blame you if you don't stick around for the whole live. But keep an eye out for them because we've got X-Men 97 season 1 and season 2, and we'll have the first episode of Lanterns. That's if they do it episode by episode. It's max, so we might get the full season off the rip.
That's what I'm trying to see. I'm looking that up right now to see if there's any confirmation if they're just going to drop it all at once.
Max does that a lot. Although they didn't do it with the Peacemaker.
That's what I was thinking too. It's like maybe it literally is one of those. Oh well, it's the no. Schedule is 16th, 23rd, 30th, 6th, 13, 20. So basically between August 16th and October 4th.
All right.
Which is funny too. You notice that okay, and this is just me. That finale being October 4th sets it before their next big thing, which is Clayface. So they're actually making that's fully ended. Clayface premieres. So maybe we'll have a reference to something in there too.
Maybe. It wouldn't make any sense though. But maybe.
It depends on how he's trying to build the world. Because again, I have an issue with, and we'll go into that again a little bit closer. But we're getting Clayface before we get a new Batman.
Well, we've discussed this. We don't need a Batman for there to be a Clayface.
I know, but still. Especially if the rumors on the Nightwing thing are true too. So it's going to be interesting. He is so close to the fucking vest with a lot of this still.
Mm-hmm.
And I give him credit for it because he did that with Guardians too. We didn't really know what to expect, and what we got was a pretty amazing fucking franchise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, James. If people just give him a fucking chance, which guess what, it doesn't matter. He's gonna get the chance anyways because historically speaking, he's never given a shit about negativity from the fans. He's gonna build what he wants to build, and then when it's all said and done, then go ahead and criticize him. He's not gonna care. Still, he built his project.
Yeah, the Zack Snyder
And
fans like
that-
Ollie can just it's time to move on and look forward.
Huh? Why are you calling me out for something that I'm not even a part of?
Yeah, no. So here's the thing. I was all about the Snyderverse until they made Superman kill.
Yeah.
That was it. That was it. That was done. That was done. Because he's never intentionally killed. And he intentionally kills in that movie.
Oh shit. You're gonna hate me. You know what else we're
Why?
gonna have to talk about?
What?
August 28th is Legend of the White Dragon.
Oh, I mean, goddamn, that adds another thing in. But yes, no. Nope.
Okay,
I
so
will be
Raider,
watching
for
it.
that one, what I'm gonna need you to do is go back and watch all of the Power Rangers, starting with the first one up until
I hope you can feel the glare right now. Like, just
not so much the glare, but I felt part of my soul literally leaving my body.
I wonder why.
Yes, I need to actually add that to the website, like the upcoming stuff, so that you, the listeners, can also keep track, because there's a lot these next couple months, to be honest.
Yeah, gritting towards the end of the year, and that's when like all the stuff that's about to tie in the big movies are gonna come out. No Raider, you don't have to watch anything Power Ranger related. It's okay.
Just
Yeah,
Mystic
we got a
Force
lot of
because it's
stuff.
the
End
best
of
one.
year, we got Harry Potter.
Mhm.
End of year, we have our next Star Wars movie. I do need to look into what you were telling me about in stream yesterday.
Yes, it's called The Ninth Jedi. It
Yes.
is the latest animation for Star Wars, and they've done it to the style of anime. That's the art style.
It popped up on mine. It looks really interesting, and this is them opening the door and exploring the early history, and I think that's going to be amazing if they keep that going.
Yeah, I didn't start watching it last night. I'll probably watch it here today at some point in time.
And then when we do that one, Raider, trust me, I will have lots of questions for you.
I
So,
don't doubt it.
So with all that, thank you all for hanging out. I'm gonna pass it over to Lord and Raider to close us out.
Alrighty, well, thank you guys for tuning in for this lengthy podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe, and keep an eye out on all of our socials for our next podcast. Should be in about 2 weeks, because it sounds like we're gonna have a lot to break down then as well.
So much. Yep.
Also, good.
Good. I was gonna say, and remember, you check the socials, but you also check the website whysupermansucks.com to get links to all the socials. So we also got the link tree, and like you said, help us out, subscribe, like the video, comment. Comments matter, and keep an eye on the community here in YouTube as well.
Check out the pre-recorded video we just dropped.
Yeah,
It's
we got
fun.
we got that was our predictions before Spider-Man came out, and now you got our review afterwards. So we definitely, I will say, I can admit when we're wrong.
I can't. Fuck you. I'm right, always.
There's a couple things I definitely was wrong about, but I'm happy with it.
I got everything right. Perfect. I'm always perfect.
Well, that's because your fucking mutant ability is precog.
No, that's Spider-Man's ability.
No, my mutant ability is forget me not.
Who are you?
All right. Have a good one, everybody. We will see you in 2 weeks, unless you come hang out with us over on Ye old purple apps.